Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Thru Wrestling. My name's Jake.
And I'm Tommy.
It's very nice to have you with us, as always. We had a pretty good week of wrestling. Not as good as last week was, in my opinion.
No, it's still really good, but last week was awesome.
Yes. But let's get started. We had Monday Night Raw to start the week off. We started them...
Sasha Banks came out.
Yeah, yes.
Started
the new
with Sasha
champion.
Banks.
And of course, she got a really big pop. I think biggest pop of the night, actually, was for Sasha at the very beginning of the show. She came out, and she started talking a little bit of smack to Charlotte.
Yeah, and we got announced that there is going to be a rematch for the women's title at SummerSlam.
Of course.
After she came out.
And so Charlotte started dishing it back to her, and of course, Enzo Amore's music came on. Well, Enzo and Cass's music, because it's the same right now. But only Enzo came out. And
Jericho came out first.
Oh, yeah, Jericho did come out first. That's right.
Jericho came out and started talking trash on Sasha with Charlotte.
Right, that's what incited Enzo to come out.
And then Enzo came out to, I would say defend her honor, but it was more like to flirt with her instead.
That was a really cool moment. I know not everyone liked it because it was kind of like a little bit of slowing down the pace. But Enzo's awesome on the mic, and Sasha seemed to just kind of throw it right back to him every time.
Yeah, they worked well together on the mic.
I hope that that's not a one-off thing because they had some chemistry there, not only on the mic but in the match too. It seemed like
could open up a future rivalry with Carmella, even with Sasha and Carmella, if there's any brand interaction later on.
Yeah. One thing that I will say that I don't like, that I used to like, you're going to either take this horribly wrong or horribly right. I don't like that the men and the women don't hit each other at all anymore.
Yeah, there used to be mixed tag matches, and it was the same rules as a regular tag match. And it was kind of funny, because after they came out and talked crap on each other, Mick Foley came out and made a tag match, of course.
Yes, of course.
So now there's a tag match with Enzo and Sasha and Charlotte and Jericho. And they did a hot tag in the middle of the match, which
doesn't make
any sense in this with the way the rules are set up. So,
and both teams tagged at the same time too, which is like, they should be going back out again. Actually, to be fair,
I don't understand the rules of those, but it is this day and age. So
yeah, but of course, Charlotte and Jericho, the heels, won the match. After the match, it was Dana came out and helped Charlotte actually win the match in the first place, right?
She came out and distracted Sasha, and Sasha was like, hit Jericho and hit Dana, and then Charlotte was able to capitalize on the distractions.
But the faces ended up getting beat down after the match too, and then out came Big Cass, and he kind of came in for a save there on the good guys. We also had a round 2 of Braun Strowman murdering someone that we don't know.
Braun Strowman is a scary man, and I don't care who you are wrestling him. The funny thing is with that guy, like, why are you wrestling Braun Strowman? He's like, well, I get paid $1,000.
I get paid $1,000 for fighting him, and $5,000 if I win. Does that cover the medical expenses? Is I think one of the lines of the commentators said.
It's funny because it's like old school, like circus wrestling. It's like, hey, come and wrestle.
That reverse choke slam that he does is just brutal.
I want to see him. I want to see him do it on an actual
real wrestler.
Yeah. See if it's accomplishable with him. I'm sure it is. He's a strong dude, but. Yeah, it's just picking people up by the back of their necks and throwing them to the ground.
Something I'm excited for is if they keep making him this just murderous bad guy monster, is if at some point Bray finally turns face like everyone wants him to, and they meet up sometime, because there's a lot to happen there. Maybe I'm looking really far ahead into the future. I think that's
a pretty far future.
But just thinking about those kind of things happening right now is really cool. What else did we have, Thumb?
I think there was a tag team match with R-Truth and Goldust.
Golden Truth.
I just remember them. They were playing Pokemon against the Shining Stars of Puerto Rico.
Yes. I'm ready for the Shining Stars to be gone, just like every other time that they've come up with another gimmick. It doesn't work. We don't like it.
People are so zoned out. Like, there's no one even. They don't get any reaction. Not a boo, not a cheer, nothing.
They don't care. They're looking at their phones. They're playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, no one. That's why R-Truth was playing Pokemon Go. He was bored with the Shining Stars even.
But somehow or another, the Shining Stars actually got the win on the match. I don't know why. I don't know why you even give them a nod of a win. I don't get it.
Just so they can have the comedy with the Pokemon Go. Goldust and R-Truth are a comedy tag team now, unfortunately, but that's what they are.
We had a backstage segment where Mark Henry came in and he said, "Hey," they said, "Hey, you're the ambassador for the upcoming Olympics in Rio, Summer Olympics."
Stephanie says, "We drafted you to be more of a mentor, and you're going to be the ambassador to the Olympics."
And he's like, "No, whoa, hold up! I'm Mark Henry. I'm the strongest man in the world. How dare you call me an ambassador? I'm a monster."
He's like, "I still have wrestling to do."
Yes, he was not done. But of course, once we got to the match, we found out that things were a little bit different. Mark Henry came in as the I'm American guy and I'm from America, and Rusev came in as I'm the Russian guy, but not really Russian.
Yeah.
But I'm from Russia and boo America, and he pretty much destroyed Mark Henry. Which
Mark Henry's getting up there in age, doesn't move as well.
It still sucks because. Yeah, you can use the age thing against him, but I don't like from where Mark Henry was even like 5 years ago to like the steep decline he's taken. I always hate when people make such a steep decline.
Yeah, it seems like he was having a really good time of
especially like circa 2014, 13 when he was the World Heavyweight Champion again on SmackDown before it split, or before it unsplit, I should say. Of course, like I said, Rusev won.
That was a title match.
Right. It wasn't a title. It was a title match. Wasn't a surprise, though. What happened after the match, though, was quite a surprise. Rusev was talking a little bit of smack about the Olympics and America's performance in the Olympics and how we cheat.
All we have to do is cheat, and the only reason we don't deserve any medals ever. And I thought that was the prime opportunity for the rumors to come true with Kurt Angle coming back.
I think the entire internet thought
everyone. Like, I texted you during that. I was like, "Oh, here comes Kurt Angle."
Yep, and I think I said, "Yep, back." And out was the biggest surprise. Was Roman Reigns. He came out. I like this move because it moves Roman down a little bit to where he can build his character back up, build his reputation back up that might be a little bit tainted right now. And it gives him an opportunity to start at the upper mid and work his way back up to the top.
You think they give him the U.S. title? You think he has a shot?
With it being SummerSlam, in any of the big three, I guess big four, he has a real chance of winning. I still don't like Rusev losing that title, though. I think that it really defines Rusev's character right now.
I think they either have a fatal four-way at SummerSlam with Cesaro, Sheamus, Reigns, and Rusev for the title, or there's some sort of number one contenders tournament in the weeks to come with those two. Because I think they deserve a shot and are in for it because they had that match.
Who'd you say?
Cesaro and Sheamus.
Okay. I think Cesaro and Sheamus are going to probably just end up having their own deal.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they're going to continue on. They put on a really good match, actually. That wasn't the next one, was it? No. We had a really weird matchup. Speaking of weird matchups, the next one was Titus O'Neil against Darren Young. Why did they do that?
I don't know. They used to be tag team partners, and they're not anymore.
There's such a story to tell with having them fight each other, but they're like, no, here's Raw wrestling.
They did mention it that they used to be tag team partners and that Titus O'Neil respects him a lot and everything, but then he cheated to win, so.
Right.
Maybe trying to establish Titus as a heel again, or.
Maybe could be. After his big loss, he needs something different. to Rusev. That was really embarrassing for the way it happened. I don't know why they did it that way.
Yeah.
We had another Nia Jax squash match. I don't really want to spend too much time on it because it was the exact same thing.
Exactly the same, except this time it was against Rihanna.
Yeah. We had the New Day versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. There's a lot to be said about this, though. This is a really good rivalry. This is something Tom and I and probably the rest of the internet have been talking about for a while. If you really want to give Gallows and Anderson heat, stick them on the New Day and make them beat up the New Day instead of John Cena.
It's kind of interesting because they're pretty notorious for cheating, and they're like, we need one of the New Day members to be barred from ringside because all they do is cheat.
Right.
Cheat. So, yeah, they're like being the heel, whining about the rules and then cheating anyway to try to win. And turns out they didn't win.
Right.
They were too busy doing NWO things.
Yeah, that crap. This crap, I don't like it. I'm not much of a follower yet of the outside stuff. I guess from what I've heard, they kind of earned it, and they got the blessing from Scott Hall, right, on doing that.
That's what you said, or Seth said,
Seth
or
told
someone.
Us, but they're not part of the clique.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a clique thing.
I think they should have come up with something original, but at this point, it's something they'd done forever, so they'd come to expect it.
Whatever. So
I'd heard Big E got injured.
No way, really? I hope to God
match?
not. I really hope not. That'd be really unfortunate. They had quite a beating after the match, though. They did take it, and the crowd responded well to it with booing the hell out of those two guys for their actions, because it just puts a little damper on the whole idea of, there's no more bad guys and good guys initiative that they have going on, because clearly there were 2 bad guys here and 3 good guys.
Mm-hmm. I'm not for sure if that injury with Big E is storyline or not, but I'd read that he was injured, and I don't remember reading if it was a legitimate injury or not.
That'd be cool if it was a storyline thing, because it takes their powerhouse out of the thing and makes it more of an even fight, 2 against 2. We'll obviously report more on that as things turn up. For right
now, we have Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah, we
after that.
Like I said, it was a really good match. It was one of my favorites of the night. No matter when Cesaro's out there, he puts on the heck of a match. Man, I don't know what it is. Usually Sheamus stinks up the place. I don't like Sheamus very much. But if he's put in a good match with somebody else who can wrestle, he always does. No matter how much I don't like Sheamus, good guy or bad, he always does put on a good match.
Sheamus is a good wrestler. He just doesn't have that
charisma.
Or like the it factor. He's just big, and he does what he does. He does it well, but he doesn't do anything extraordinary or unique.
Mm-hmm. I want to say, I think Cesaro won that, but they had a brawl afterwards, which, like I said, I think it's going to lead to a little bit more.
Well, they had Commissioner Foley, GM Foley, had announced that whoever wins this match would be in future title contention, or whoever impressed him in the match would have future title contention. And they were talking about the U.S. title at the time. That's why I said that I think that they have a shot in the future.
Gotcha. Of course, what you said came to pass with Heath Slater. He talked too much smack, and then Jinder Mahal got hired.
I wasn't expecting Jinder Mahal.
You thought somebody cool.
I really thought it was gonna be MVP.
Yeah.
That's next week on Raw, I'm sure.
Maybe. And then we had our main event was Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins was out to make a impression on Finn Balor by beating up his friend.
And how did that turn out, Tom?
It was a good match. Really good match. Seth Rollins did win the match, of course.
Yep.
But, I mean, it was really touch and go for him. Sami Zayn really put up a good fight. About all I can say about it.
The last segment we had was Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar. They talked smack. They said Randy Orton wasn't going to come out. And, of course, out of nowhere, RKO. And that was it.
Yeah, he said no one Paul Heyman said it like 4 times. He's never going to hit the RKO.
Never. He's like, never. You can come out now and hit the RKO.
It was very, very predictable, but I guess a lot of people like to see that. A lot of people have been wanting it for a long time.
I've watched wrestling during that entire time, and I'm not one of the people. 10 or 15 years ago, this would have been cool, just like everything else that they haven't given us until now. Just like The Undertaker versus Sting, everybody wants it now, and everybody wanted it last year, but I don't care. I would have liked it 15 years ago. It's just not something I care about.
Now they both would have better things to do than fight each other, I would think. But.
Right. And mark it now. If you don't know what's going to happen in this match, if you think that there's a snowball's chance in hell that Randy Orton's going to win, you're wrong. Period. Okay?
Yep. Yep. That's it.
That's it. Next up, we had Smackdown Tuesday night. Smackdown Live, I should say.
Yeah, Smackdown Live. Okay. Call it what it is. Damn it.
We had a number 1 contender triple threat match. Tell us about it, Tom.
That was for the Intercontinental Championship. Number 1 contender.
Yes. Yes.
Miz came down at ringside like always whenever someone in his contention is fighting, and I like him on the mic. He's kind of funny.
I love Miz. It's just they have missed so many opportunities with him that he lost his credibility, I think, with the fans. It's only the hardcore people really that still mind or like Miz. Mm-hmm. So I guess count yourself as a hardcore wrestling fan, in my opinion.
Big surprise, Apollo Crews won that match. I would have liked to see Baron Corbin. I know you would have too.
Absolutely, and to my happiness, Baron Corbin was very much featured through the match. It took both of the guys beating him up in order to take him out of the match. Every time he went over the ropes, it wasn't because he was overpowered by one man. It was like Apollo Crews won, and that's great because the guy's a good wrestler. He's built like a good wrestler. I mean, he's built as a superstar should be. And they're going to give him kind of a shot, which I don't think he's going to capitalize on. Maybe he does. I hope so.
He reminds me a lot of Bobby Lashley, and kind of be like a flash in the pan like Lashley was, I think. But
could be. But after the match, Baron Corbin just cleaned house with everybody.
Well, Baron Corbin come in and was beating up Kalisto because he's mad. And then Crews came in to save Kalisto. And then Miz came in.
Yes. Yeah.
Miz came in and beat up Crews.
I undermined
Corbin killed Miz.
Yeah, so, I undermined how cool it was because there was kind of like the back and forth thing. And I don't know, do you call that a good guy move? I think it's kind of just a renegade move for him to take down Miz the way he did.
I think it was just I'm
the lone wolf.
Yeah, I own the ring.
Right.
Before that match happened, though, we had Bray Wyatt.
I missed that completely.
Challenge not Dean Ambrose. Challenge Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
For his number 1 contendership.
Yeah, and Dolph kind of lost it and said, "Hey, since Dean didn't think during this promo that I stand even like I said before, a snowball's chance in hell. I'm gonna take this match and I'm gonna prove it." And he forced Shane and Daniel.
Yeah, all night Shane and Daniel Bryan were like, "Dolph, don't have to do this."
Yeah, you absolutely. You have the match.
You have a match at SummerSlam.
You already proved yourself last week.
You're a main event at SummerSlam.
Yep.
But he had something to prove, and we'll get to that match. That match was made for the main event.
Right. So after the Apollo Crews winning match and Baron Corbin cleaning house with everybody, we had Eva Marie's first spectacular match, her debut against Becky Lynch. You know, Becky Lynch came out first, and then we had Eva Marie's ridiculous intro.
Her awesome entrance.
She came out, and she looked fantastic. I mean, I'm not just saying that as a big fan of the female body. I wasn't saying it like that, but she looked like she was kind of coming into a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she come down with purpose. Still very unemotional, which I don't know if that's her character.
No, that's fine. I think her character is just full of herself, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, when she hit the ropes, she hit the ropes with purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she came down, oh man, I felt so bad that her knee got messed up. It looked so nasty when it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that's a storyline developing or she hurt herself legitimately, but...
Psst, it's the storyline. If you couldn't tell, it was quite clearly the storyline that she just kind of skipped out on her first match because, I don't know, maybe she didn't feel like she needed to be there with Becky Lynch.
I don't know. The referees were so helpful, though.
Yes.
To help her back up to the ring.
I'd have helped her. So moving along to a real match.
Well, after that match, we got set up for a match later in the night because it went to Renee Young talking to Carmella.
Yeah, I'm missing all these things, but yeah.
Renee Young had an interview with Carmella, and Natalya came in and said, "Hey, you should be interviewing me because I'm the best woman on the show."
Yeah, I remember that now. Yep.
And then that set up a match for later on.
Okay. So what I was trying to get to before I was so rudely interrupted and told that I watched it. I'm just kidding, man. We had the Vaudevillains versus the debuting
American Alpha.
Yes.
I'm excited for this.
I'll let you take it because I know you were really, really excited about these guys.
I know it wasn't as great as match as I thought it could have been just because they had fought before. Vaudevillains and American Alpha had fought numerous times on NXT, put on good matches.
Yeah.
And this was still a really good match. I think they came in and they had something to prove with their, main roster debut, and they proved that they're going to be a force for the tag team division on Smackdown, which I heard rumor that they're going to get their own title. I'm not for sure or not, but I think Daniel Bryan said something.
He
about
pretty
that.
much confirmed that there's going to be there's going to be 2 tag titles, one for Raw and one for SmackDown, and also I believe a women's title, 2 women's titles.
I heard there's going to be a women's title for SmackDown too. So
is that going to be called the WWE Women's Universal Championship, or
if they wanted to throw shade at Raw, yeah. That's what I would call it. The
Undisputed or something like that. I mean, I don't know.
The Women's Galaxy.
Women's Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. Yeah, Galaxy. Intergalactic Women's Champion.
Intergalactic Women's Champion.
Can we agree on Intergalactic Women's Champion? Yes. All right. So, of course, as you said, American Alpha won.
AJ came out after that to yell at John Cena fans, and John Cena came out to meet him before he had a chance to.
To be fair, I'll just kind of a word to everyone. I wasn't feeling too great Tuesday night, so this is about when I fell asleep. So Tom's going to take it from here.
AJ Styles came out, and he was getting ready to tell the C Nation what he thought about their hero. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, let me tell you something about John Cena. And then John Cena's music hit, and he came down to the ring. Oh,
yeah, I do remember that. It was like right when I was fading out. He didn't even get to do a promo or anything.
Yeah, he got to... Well, he did get to do a promo on him, but it was more of a back and forth than it was...
it was really like... Cena came out a lot earlier than you expected, though,
yeah, it was. He came out and said, let me tell you about John Cena. And it was like...
Yep.
So they went back and forth, and it was really good with, AJ Styles just telling the crowd how much he hated him, the kids and hated women and hated anyone who loved John Cena. And John Cena, said why he belongs in WWE and how much he loves it, and
put on a pretty typical but good Cena promo, probably.
Well, Cena's really good on the mic, doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, always great on the mic. What happened next, Tommy?
AJ Styles challenged John Cena to a match.
One-on-one
on SummerSlam.
Yeah. Well, that's to be expected.
One-on-one, club will probably interfere.
No, I don't know.
You don't think so?
No, I think that this is going to be the match we've been waiting for. I think that this will be the definitive ending and the resolution to the John Cena versus AJ feud. I hope so. It's SummerSlam. We need a really big match with a definitive ending.
After that segment happened, there was a match with Randy Orton and Fandango. The ring was surrounded by security guards, in fear of retaliation by Brock Lesnar. Turns out that didn't help at all because halfway through the match where Randy was killing Fandango, Brock Lesnar showed up and the guards didn't even try to stop him because he's scary.
Yeah, because Brock Lesnar. Would you try to stop Brock Lesnar?
It depends on how much I was getting paid, I guess.
Well, if you're getting paid a lot of money, but he's really mad, do you try to stop Brock Lesnar?
It depends.
Because I don't try to stop Brock Lesnar. I say, go on, sir. Would you like a wet nap on your way?
You're sitting on the ropes. Like
when you let a woman, there you go, sir.
But yeah, he came in, F5'd Randy Orton, no surprise to anyone. All of the security came down, and they're like, get out of here. And he's like, all right, that's fine. I'll leave. And he just walked out, no big deal. Which I thought was kind of funny that they weren't calling the cops or trying to arrest him or anything. Just get out. So anyway, that happened. No big deal there. And then we came up to the women's match that we talked about earlier.
The one with Carmella and Natalya?
Yeah.
How did Carmella look in the ring?
Didn't make it.
What?
Didn't make it to the ring.
I'd love to see her start fighting on Raw.
She come down, was making her entrance to the ring. Natalya attacked her from behind, and that was the end of the match. There wasn't even a match. Not even a match.
Maybe next week we'll get to see her.
Maybe next week we're going to see any women's matches because there wasn't one.
Oh, yeah. That sucks. How are you going to put a title on that show if you're not going to have women fighting?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, WWE.
Blame Shane and Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel.
Okay.
You suck on the mic, Daniel.
Daniel, learn to commentate.
Come on, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah, damn, Daniel. Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt. Please tell me that this was a good match because both guys we know can put on a good match. I honestly don't know who won the match because I don't know. Either guy could win.
Either guy could win, and it actually looked like it was going to be Bray Wyatt for a long time.
But it wasn't?
No.
Oh.
Ziggler came into his state of Hulkamania about halfway through the match, and you know how gets wound up and ended up beating Bray Wyatt. I don't remember if it was a zigzag or a famouser.
Okay.
But Ziggler came out strong because he was mad. You know, he had something to prove.
Then that's cool that, 2 weeks in a row you put Ziggler in a situation where he shouldn't shine, or he shouldn't go over. But he does anyways. So I guess as much as I'm really more on the side of wanting Bray Wyatt to win this match and wanting Bray Wyatt to rise up and fight Dean for the title, I think that's really cool that they've put him in that situation twice and he's prevailed.
Ziggler was kind of using heel tactics, though.
Oh, really?
The match. He exposed the turnbuckle, and actually that's what got him the win, now that I remember. He took the padding off the turnbuckle and then super kicked Bray Wyatt, who fell into the turnbuckle. I think that's how it ended.
Huh.
It's either that or vice versa. He either whipped him into the turnbuckle and then super kicked him.
So what do you do with Bray Wyatt?
I don't know. Let him mess up his match at SummerSlam, which would be terrible, I would think. But
especially for SummerSlam, for a big title match like that.
He's done that so much, where he's interfered on title matches with Dean Ambrose and.
I know, and there's so many heels right now there's so many guys that can be fighting for that title right now. It's crazy. When Cena and AJ wrap up their match or their feud, I want to see Cena versus Ambrose. I want to see AJ versus Ambrose. I want to see all these. I want to see Bray Wyatt versus Ambrose. I
just want to see everyone fight Ambrose
and lose.
Yeah,
but yeah, you get what I'm saying. There's so much to happen, and that's the best thing about this brand split is you have all these possibilities.
That brings us up to NXT tonight. Opened up with big return. Hideo Itami come back after over a year being gone due to injury.
And I'll say, last week, remember, I hadn't watched NXT. I did catch up and watched all of it later on that week. And then I watched tonight's episode with you tonight. Tonight's episode was quite better than last week's.
Yeah, last week was just kind of boring to me.
It really was.
This week was a lot better. like I said, we have Hideo Itami versus Sean Maluta.
That's part of why it was better.
Who we liked from CWC quite a bit.
Yes, we both like Hideo Itami, and we both were really surprised with Sean Maluta. For two people that were talking so much smack about somebody, he certainly pulled us through and gave us a big hug of wrestling, like, love me, by the end of that match.
And we've talked about that a little bit. A lot of the wrestlers in the CWC that come out, that you hate the way they look.
Both of us sometimes, but always me. Not always, because sometimes they end up sucking anyways.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's me. I always talk so much smack about, this guy looks so stupid. I hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he loses. I hope his parents die. I hope his family dies. Right? I hope he loses, is what I really say. And then by halfway through the match, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's my favorite new wrestler. He's my favorite.
A lot of surprises in the CWC. But back to NXT, Hideo Itami won via pinfall. Not a big surprise.
Because you can't give it to Sean already.
No, but I'm glad to see the CWC guys in NXT.
One match I really didn't care to see tonight was Mojo Rawley, because I'm like, isn't that guy not supposed to be here anymore?
Yeah, they record couple weeks in advance, so he's still showing up on NXT some still. He fought against a guy named Chris Adkins
for a little bit,
for 4 seconds or something. It was ridiculous.
He did two moves to him and did his shoulder charge thing that he does for, and pinned him. Did he get the pin even out on
Yeah,
him?
he pinned him. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Samoa Joe came out, though, and just killed everyone.
Killed everyone in the ring.
But instead of a definitive ending of Joe coming out and talking smack, it went back and forth, and Mojo looked a little bit better than just being ran over.
Yeah, Joe came out and told Regal how he was mad about this match coming up at TakeOver. And then Mojo came back and beat up on Joe some and looked good. And
yes.
That's all it was, basically.
We had Asuka versus kind of a newer face, semi-newer face. I shouldn't say new face because we've seen her before. But Aaliyah, I think was her name. The match wasn't so much of a match against the two because Bayley was out on commentary.
Yeah, it was just head games between Asuka and Bayley.
Asuka, I think, actually.
Yeah, Asuka. Why do I keep saying Asuka?
Because it's the Asuka. In America, that's Asuka. Asuka. But it's Asuka. There shouldn't be... Just take the U out for us, please. We're going to keep messing it up until you take the U out.
Take a U out and put a W in front of the S.
Okay.
Okay,
fair
Asuka.
enough. So yeah, Asuka actually set a chair, took a steel chair out, and I was like, what's she doing? She sets the steel chair out, at the bottom of the ramp, and points to Bayley. She's like, you, come here. Sit here. And it was like, okay, that's kind of crazy. So then Bayley comes down the ramp, and she's getting ready to sit down. She just takes the chair. She's like, no, I'm not sitting on your chair. I'll stand here, but I'll be damned if I sit in your chair.
I'll be damned if I do what you tell me.
Of course, Asuka dominated the other girl. Not much of a match at all. We had a new promo for somebody. I didn't catch it. I was actually, admittedly, again, looking down at my phone. What happened during the promo? I caught the end with the name. Did anything else happen?
It was a figure in a forest with a hood on. And some music and some, background vocal, not vocals, but voiceover,
Basically just mysterious stuff.
Yeah, mysterious stuff. And Ember Moon is the name of the girl.
Ooh.
You very rarely see vignettes for females that are coming in. Usually here's a girlfriend of a wrestler, and
True.
A wrestler now, so.
I was so excited for this episode, and I was telling you so much about how the one thing from TNA for the 4-month time that I watched TNA, my favorite guy from TNA was Bobby Roode, because he was such a good heel, and I don't remember seeing him, if any at all, from WWE. Maybe, I don't know if he had a little stint or not, I can't remember, but he came out, he cut a promo when he lost to Austin Aries back in the day on TNA, where he came out and I told you he's like, he was gonna cut this promo, but instead he's just like, he points to the belt. He just did that like 8 times and had no promo besides. And it was so awesome. It was so good. Of course, one of our friends.
You thought he was in a match.
Yeah, I thought he was going to fight. And he just came out in a suit, which I was like, okay, at least we get to hear him talk.
He did the good heel thing and made fun of everyone.
Well, he started out as a good guy. That was the best part. He started out as a good guy, but then he's like, but I don't need any of you stupid, fat, ignorant, fat nerds that wear stupid shirts cheering for me. Boo, you guys suck, Kind of turned, said basically, I'm coming out as a heel. Mm-hmm. Bobby Roode. So that's all we kind of got to see with that, unfortunately. There was a contract signing announced for next week. Asuka versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. I believe that's is it TakeOver Brooklyn 2?
Yep.
Do you know the date on that, off the top of your head?
Nope.
I don't either. What was the next match we had?
TM61 versus the Revival. TM61 came out and was talking crap on the Revival, saying that they deserved a title shot. And then Tommaso and what's the other guy? Johnny Wrestling.
Johnny Wrestling, yeah. Man, I love those guys. Yeah. They're good.
They're like, no, we deserve a title shot because we beat, the Revival before.
And the Revival, they're really good too. I mean, if anybody's good, it's I take TM61 out because the other teams really shine above them.
Team 61's fairly new, though.
Right. The Revival's like, they're like, we're the guys on the top. Take a number, go to the back of the line. You guys talk it out amongst yourselves. The guys on the top are out. And they leave. I like that. I like them saying, the guys on the top, we're out. We're better than you. So, of course, TM61 fought the Revival. The Revival did their regular tricks of kind of like cheating and theatricality and deception are for the uninitiated. So they weren't initiated yet, of course, and it worked on them.
Something interesting is before the match, the Revival is coming out making fun of TM61, calling them different duos. They end up calling them Charmander and Pikachu.
Yeah.
And because Pokemon is very relevant right now. So yet another Pokemon Go reference in WWE. But it was pretty interesting. The Revival ended up winning that match.
But
go ahead.
What happened after the match, Tom?
I don't remember.
Our guys came out.
Oh yeah, Tommaso and Ciampa.
Yeah, they came out and they kind of had something to say or something to do. They're kind of like, hey, guess what? You messed with the other guys. You haven't beat us yet. You haven't really proven yourself to beat us in a fair fight. So it's our turn now. When
it gets to the end of NXT, I'm kind of frothing at the mouth for CWC.
Yeah, see, just black out and you don't remember any of it. I get it. So I guess, if you're really frothing at the mouth, let's hear what you have to talk about.
CWC opened up. Rich Swann come out, and he fought. Who did he fight?
Jason Lee,
the guy from Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. And Jason Lee had kind of a kung fu kind of style.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to see.
It was. For me, the first match, rightfully so, was like the kind of slowest match of the night. There not a lot happened in it. Part of it was we were like talking and eating through it. So I don't know. I think maybe we should review that one again and come back to it.
Rich Swann ended the match with this pretty cool standing 450.
Yeah,
he jumped a couple times, then did a 450 splash from the floor, which I've never seen done before, and I can never fathom ever getting that much height out of a jump. So.
No, and if you 450'd someone from that height, they'd be dead. You or I.
So that was an impressive move for the victory.
Second match, we had Noam Dar fight Gurv Shira.
The second brother of the Bollywood Boys.
Gurv Shira was the second brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So he came out with the ha 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 like dance thing, and of course I'm just
like that,
die. We hate him. Die.
Well,
and I liked. Yeah, I did. I got my wish, and plus I liked Noam Dar better because he was like He was from Israel.
He's from representing Scotland via Israel.
Yeah, best. Like my friends. That's fine. So I was rooting for him anyways. I just don't like Gurv Shira.
He won with a submission hold leg lock.
It was a pretty cool match. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad.
This is the big surprise for you.
The big surprise.
Jack Gallagher.
Jack Gallagher fought Fabian Ochner. Jack Gallagher came out and again, kill him. I hate that guy. Hate him. And then he started wrestling. And I've got to say, I freaking love Jack Gallagher. Halfway through the match, if that, I was like, man, why do I always make a fool of myself? And I always have to take back the mean things I said.
He was a very technical wrestler, pretty entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
He ended up winning.
Some of the really cool parts of the match, I mean, they weren't believable so much for like an old school wrestler. I just see I can just see some of the old school people saying the whole arm lock spin. They're just getting mad about it, and some of it looking like too much of a show and not much of like a technical wrestling match. But the parts that were good and looked real were spot on. So I want to see more from this guy. I guess that's really what I'm saying. We had, of course, our main event. Then our very last match from the
first round.
From the first round, right? And who did we get to see, Tom?
Our guys from NXT, Johnny Wrestling, and the Psycho Killer, Tommaso and Ciampa.
Yes.
Or Garanjo.
Why did I
say Tommaso? Tommaso Ciampa is the guy's name. It's Ciampa and Gargano.
Okay.
Are the guys' names. I don't.
There's so many new names in wrestling. You cannot be mad at us.
Dang
if you're gonna get mad at us about all these names, then I guess you're gonna have to find a better show because this is the best we can do. No, we can do better.
But yeah, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
To be fair, I did not accost either of these guys at the beginning of the match. Mm-hmm. I said, "Hey, these guys are our guys from NXT, aren't they? I want both of them to win."
I was really thinking this is where they were going to do their 20-minute
and they alluded to it several times during the match, too. So we were like, we're right. We're going to be right.
The whole match was very back and forth until the very end when Tommaso got a couple great big moves. He got a super kick, and he did a power bomb, suplex to a power bomb.
There were like 2 or 3 times in a row that he hit his move on him, and then he went for the pin, and it was like 2.999999999 count, and he kicked out. And I'm with him screaming at the ref, how? Like looking at Johnny, like how did you kick out? How's that possible? Like I don't know, but Johnny got it was kind of a neat little roll up combo thing.
Like a crucifix roll up.
Yeah, Johnny ended up winning.
From out of nowhere, like he was dead. Like he by all rights should have been knocked out.
WWE 2K16 or 17, his character was like completely blood red, like all body parts were blood red.
But at the end, it looked like maybe their friendship had been hurt during the match. And Tommaso walked out without shaking his buddy's hand.
Because he came up and he put his hand out and he like looked at him and he walked out through the bottom or the second rope. And he stopped at the apron and like spun back around. And the crowd was even saying, "Turn back around," or something like, "Go back." And so he came back, and of course they got the handshake they hugged, yeah, because the one was sitting on the ground after his friend didn't hug him, and he came up and he sat next to him and he's like,
yeah, he hugged him,
my friend. So that was really cool, and I
really enjoyed this first round of matches for CWC.
And this episode was one of the better. It was maybe not the very best one so far.
That's still the first.
But the first episode was the best. But this for me, especially because of the last match, I'd move this up to my second favorite of all the CWC.
Mm-hmm. And next week we only have 2 matches, so I'm thinking they're going to go longer matches.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to see. They said next week it's going to be Tajiri
and Grand Metalik.
And then who's the second match? It's Kota Ibushi versus
and Cedric Alexander.
Yes. I'm picking I'm picking Kota Ibushi. I've already said that.
Ibushi and Grand Metalik are going to win. Tajiri's not going
You don't
past.
think Tajiri's going again?
Tajiri's not getting past Grand Metalik.
I'm going to go so that we have a separate vote on this. Because you agree with me with Kota, right?
I do.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Tajiri on this one. So then we can have some sort of rivalry. Who do you guys think win the next two matches? Did you have a favorite episode or favorite show this week?
Favorite match? What was your favorite part of the match? Favorite part of the week?
Yeah. My least favorite thing that happened, just to kind of throw it out there, I didn't like the back and forth at the beginning of SmackDown between Ziggler and Ambrose, because I thought Ambrose kind of took a step down to like build Ziggler up. You get what I'm saying? Because it was like a heel promo without being a heel or without going heel. He was more like, he kind of seemed
playing
like
those head games.
Yeah, he was, which Ambrose doesn't do. Ambrose is just like, come on, fight me. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I fought my two brothers the other day. It kind of seemed like he was just, it was kind of weird seeing him say, oh, nobody even deserves to really fight me right now. I don't like that. But on the positive note, Ziggler did take a few steps up in that promo with saying, hey, I'm this guy. You want to know what guy I am? I'm this guy. I'm the guy that's screwed up, but he's coming back to kill you. Did you have a favorite or least favorite?
I think my favorite part was Finn Balor and Seth Rollins were in the ring together, talking crap against each other. And and Seth Rollins was talking about, nothing was handed to me. Nothing was handed to me at all. The only thing that's going to be handed to me is the WWE Universal title at SummerSlam. And Finn Balor's like, the only thing that's going to be handed to you is your ass.
Oh, God.
That made me laugh pretty hard.
Yeah. So I think with that, I think that's going to wrap up the episode. And this week, with Drive-By Wrestling here at the Nerd Buffet. God almighty. I meant to do that. Drive-Through Wrestling. Now I'm going to sit in pity and shame for a whole week. Oh no, why, Jake? With that, and with all the pity and shame in the world, I've been Jake.
And I'm Tommy. Wise men say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for a late pizza.